The TED Talk I'm referencing is a word game to communicate in any language. One thing I learned was that children with autism find it hard to understand abstraction and symbolism. Because of this, they have a lot of difficulty with language. However, learning and communicating by picture exchange or picture translator does not help children with autism learn word patterns. The second thing is that in 1997, scientists found that when you learn language as a child, you learn it in a certain part of your brain. When you learn language as an adult, a completely different part of the brain is used. The third thing I learned was that when you learn a language as an adult, you almost invariably learn it through your native language. I've experienced many English as a second language learners in early childhood education. The text states that with a child's language acquisition device, the child's environment dictates which human language is learned, and the LID constrains the language to a human language. One way I plan to use what I learned to heighten interactions with young children is to map out language and ask probing questions for my ESL learners to understand what they are trying to say. If this does not work, using pictures may help as a visual reinforcement. I have also experienced children with disabilities in early childhood education. Another thing I plan to do to heighten my interactions with young children is to speak less abstractly and more concretely until I am for sure the child understands and I can understand what they are trying to communicate to me. Again, mapping and probing questions can be asked to better understand the child. I also plan to use one of my students' communication devices more for her to better communicate with me. The text states that syntax is the structure of the words within an utterance. For this student in particular, I plan to encourage her to use more and more 2 to 3 word utterances when possible to help her understand putting words together to communicate and to encourage her pivot grammar. When there are deficits, the communication device can be utilized. And the question I have after this TED Talk video is that if children learn more than one language as a child during the critical period, is that information stored in different parts of the brain, like as with adults, or in the same parts of the brain?